in the midst of what appeared to be an ordinary construction site. No one could have guessed that the quiet man was hiding a violent past. He was once an elite operative, a nightmare for the most notorious criminals. Now, he only wishes to bury his violent days and live peacefully with his young daughter. But peace was only a fleeting dream. When a young girl mysteriously goes missing, Levon is forced to shed his humble worker persona and become the fearsome warrior he once was. His deadly skills, forged in blood and fire, rise again, and from here, the underworld's nightmare officially begins. Facing an entire brutal criminal organization on his own, Levon, who has never known defeat, steps into an all-out war, where every decision could be a matter of life and death. Can he restore justice, or will he fall at the hands of criminals? Join Panda Review on this breathtaking journey. Levon is currently working as a human resources manager for a construction company owned by the Garcia family. Mr. and Mrs. Garcia treat Levon very kindly. They have a daughter named Jenny, a kind-hearted girl who always treats Levon well. She often brings him food while he's at the construction site. But today doesn't seem like a good day. A group of thugs shows up at the site to collect a debt from one of the workers. They assault and threaten the man. Levon notices and approaches, urging them to leave. The thugs don't back down and warn him not to stick his nose into others' business. Levon picks up a bucket of nails and hurls it at two of them. They immediately attack him, but with the experience of a top-tier operative, Levon quickly takes them down with a hammer. More of their gang arrives with guns. Levon throws a bag of cement at them, pulls out a shotgun, and threatens the thugs. Realizing he's a formidable opponent, they flee. After a long day of work, Levon returns to his father-in-law's house to pick up his daughter, Mary. Her mother died when she was little, and it seems her grandfather has always resented Levon for her death. The two go to a nearby restaurant, where Levon gives Mary a heartfelt gift, a childhood photo of her and her mother. Later, Levon meets with two officials from Child Protective Services. Due to past issues, Levon does not have custody of Mary. Her grandfather, Dr. Roth, holds that right. They accuse Levon of having mental health issues, specifically occupational disorder syndrome. Dr. Roth believes Levon killed his wife, but the truth is she committed suicide while Levon was on an overseas assignment. That evening, Jenny attends a party with friends at a bar. With her stunning looks and seductive dancing, she unknowingly attracts the attention of human traffickers. A waiter takes notice of her and texts the traffickers. They prepare a sedative and kidnap Jenny, loading her into a truck and vanishing into the night. A few days later, Levon is contacted by Mr. and Mrs. Garcia. Jenny has been missing for 2 days. Despite police involvement, she hasn't been found. The couple is extremely worried. Knowing Levon's past, Garcia offers him his life savings in hopes he'll help find their daughter. But Levon replies, "I've been retired for a long time." Levon then visits an old comrade living in the forest. The man was blinded during a special mission and would have died if not for Levon. Levon tells him about Jenny. The man responds, "You don't need to ask me about something you already know the answer to." Levon once promised Jenny he'd help her if she ever got into trouble. Now is the time to fulfill that promise, not for money, but out of faith. He visits the Garcia home, where photos and belongings of Jenny are still kept. Garcia sits silently in her room, watching an old video of Jenny playing piano. Alcohol seems to be the only thing helping him cope. Levon can't bear to see his friend suffer. He grabs Garcia's bottle, looks him in the eyes, and says, "I will bring your daughter back." Levon follows the leads found by the police and goes to a bar called Hattie, where Jenny was last seen. He spots the waiter secretly dealing drugs. Upon checking, he finds the security camera is destroyed and one of Jenny's earrings on the ground nearby. As night falls, the waiter returns home, unaware he's being followed. While high on drugs, Levon appears with a gun. He shows him Jenny's photo and questions him. The waiter lies, claiming she left the bar soon after. Levon knows he's lying. He drags him into the bathroom and drenches his face with water, threatening him until he breaks. Just as the waiter is about to talk, 2 Russian men burst in and open fire. With 2 quick shots, Levon kills both. The waiter dies from a stray bullet. On inspecting the bodies, Levon discovers they belong to a Russian gang. He takes their money and vanishes. The next morning, a man in a black suit and 2 other Russians arrive at the waiter's apartment. The boss discovers that $90,000 is missing and calls in a cleanup crew to dispose of the bodies. As the trio leaves, they don't realize they're being followed. Levon tails them to a mansion. Using binoculars, Levon surveys the mansion. Once the henchmen leave, he sneaks in and knocks out the Russian boss. He ties him up and drags him to a nearby pool. The man is revealed to be Wolo Kolisnyk, a high-ranking Bratva official. Levon interrogates him about Jenny's disappearance. It turns out his son, Dimitri, is the one responsible. Dimitri is a useless, spoiled failure. Levon pushes Wolo into the pool and leaves. Now he knows who he's after, Dimitri. After Levon leaves, another top Bratva leader arrives, Simol, the organization's most powerful figure. He watches the security footage and realizes this wasn't just a robbery. When he sees the photo of Wolo's son, he understands everything. Simol orders his two sons to find Levon and bring him down. Levon calls an old friend from the US intelligence agency, who provides information on the Russians' operations. Levon returns to Hattie's bar and orders a drink. Two bar bouncers notice him. One of them approaches, and Levon places a stack of cash on the table. The man takes him to the bar's manager, a tall black man and infamous biker gang leader. Also a former US soldier. Suspicious that Levon might be a cop, the man tests him. His men surround Levon. With no choice, Levon fights back. He breaks one man's arm, uses a bull's head to strike others, and is about to kill someone with a broken bottle when the boss signals him to stop. Impressed by Levon's combat skills, he believes Levon isn't a cop. Levon explains his purpose. He's looking for a large drug supplier. The boss agrees to help and promises to call him when a shipment arrives. Meanwhile, in a hidden location, Jenny's captors, Viper and Artemis, are negotiating with a client. Things go wrong when Jenny bites the man's face. She should have been sedated when delivered. Back in his room, Levon pieces together all the clues. The biker boss calls him. Levon arranges a meeting with Dimitri and his men at a restaurant. After verifying Levon's identity, Dimitri takes the money and hands over some drugs. Levon returns home and discovers Jenny's captors are at the Hattie bar. He drives there but is spotted. Levon steals a motorcycle and flees. The Russians pursue and open fire. He crashes into a police car. A female officer knocks him out and hands him over to two Russian men, Danya and Vanko, sons of Simol. They interrogate Levon about Wolo's death. Levon seizes the moment, strangles one, and shoots the driver. The car plunges off a bridge. Levon finishes the job and sinks the car in the river. Simol is brought to the morgue to identify his son. Enraged, he calls a Bratva council meeting. Levon's actions have put the organization in jeopardy. Two Bratva assassins are sent to find Dimitri and Levon. Dimitri is furious over the failed transaction with Jenny. He pays $200,000 in hush money and orders Viper and Artemis to kill her and destroy all evidence. He returns to his drug-induced stupor. While he's high, Simol and the two assassins raid the bar. Simol punches Dimitri to bring him back to reality and informs him of his father's death. Seeing Levon's photo, Dimitri realizes he once faced death itself. With Levon's driver's license, they track him down. They burn down Dr. Roth's house. Meanwhile, Levon receives a call from Mary's teacher. Her grandfather didn't pick her up. When Levon and Mary return home, they find the house in flames. Levon rushes in and rescues Dr. Roth from suffocation. Dr. Roth tells Levon that his actions are putting everyone around him in danger. Levon takes Mary to stay with his blind friend Gunny, who will protect her. After explaining everything, Gunny leads him to a secret room filled with Alaska 47s and old M4 carbines. Levon chooses the weapon he knows best, the M16. Precise and deadly. He hugs his daughter tightly and promises to return soon. Jenny is taken to a remote forest by Viper and Artemis. She resists and causes a crash, then escapes. Running to the road, she flags down a police car, thinking she's saved, but the cops are on the traffickers' payroll. They return her to Viper and Artemis, who take her deeper into the forest. As Viper prepares to shoot her, his phone rings. The client Jenny bit wants revenge. At the same time, Dimitri, now paranoid about Levon, tries to gather cash and flee. But it's too late. Levon attacks his guards, taking them out with a knife. Followed by a huge explosion. Gunfire erupts, and the guards fall. Levon wounds Dimitri and interrogates him about Jenny's location. Terrified, Dimitri reveals it. After confirming the truth, Levon executes him and moves in on the traffickers' hideout. The biker boss learns Dimitri has been captured and sends men to find Levon. Meanwhile, Jenny is bound, and the client prepares to torture her. Just then, Levon throws a grenade, shaking the building. With his M16, he eliminates the guards. The biker gang storms in but is also taken down. Levon confronts the biker boss and wins the brutal fight with a fatal stab. Levon then finds Jenny. The client doesn't get a chance. He's shot in the chest. Artemis shoots but is knocked out by Levon. Jenny kicks Viper down. Just when they think it's over, Simmel and the Russian assassins arrive. Levon breaks Jenny's chains. They're pinned down by gunfire. Levon uses high-tech gear to kill the blonde assassin and detonates an explosive to eliminate the last. The two escape on a motorcycle into the darkness. Simmel witnesses everything and calls another brat the leader. He wants revenge, but the others disagree. Levon has made his point, and further action could endanger the organization. Simmel screams in helpless rage. The next morning, Levon brings Jenny home. She's embraced warmly by her parents, their joy written all over their faces. Levon returns to Gunny's house and hugs his daughter tightly. The four of them share a joyful, laughter-filled breakfast, the kind of peace a retired elite agent dreams of. The movie ends here. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting films. See you next time.